We build investor audiences for small cap companies, retail and institutional. 33 years, thousands of clients. We are experts in messaging. National TV ad campaigns, investor webinars, digital media, reaching hundreds of thousands of investors. RedChip. We do it well, we do it right, we do it big. RedChip. Call us or email us today.
May include, but are not limited to, information concerning FibroBiologics goals, plans for, and the anticipated timing of the initiation of and results from FibroBiologics' current and future preclinical studies, clinical trials, and research and development programs, potential clinical benefits of fibroblasts and fibroblast-derived materials, potential indications for fibrobiologics programs, estimates of market size, and other statements about future expectations, beliefs, plans, or prospects. Actual results may differ materially from those projected in any forward-looking statement he makes today. The factors that could cause actual results to differ materially are discussed in FibroBiologics' annual, quarterly, and current reports that are filed or furnished with the Securities and Exchange Commission and any subsequent public filings. I now turn this webinar over to Mr. O'Huron. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Craig. I want to welcome everyone to this webinar. Before we start, we'd like to send out our sympathies. As you know, we are based in Texas, so we'd like to send our sympathies and prayers to two of our shareholders who lost family members in the Texas flood this past weekend. We placed a full statement on our social media. We're going to go straight into the presentation, and then there'll be an opportunity to ask questions after. Okay, at FibroBiologics, we're pioneering a breakthrough category in cell therapy. This is a moment to evaluate where we've come from, where we are, and most importantly, where we're going. You're not here to hear numbers. You're here to capture the scale of what we're building. When you zoom out and look at our mission, this is not about incremental gains. It's about new modality in treating and curing chronic disease. And when you're trying to make history, every decision counts. Our corporate update will be followed by the opportunity to ask questions related to the business. We've already covered our FLS. Our mission is our North Star, to harness fibroblasts to treat and potentially cure chronic diseases. Think about the implications of that. Diseases that cost billions of dollars. Diseases that rob people of mobility, productivity, and dignity. We're not just targeting symptoms, we're going after the root cause. Our vision is ambitious, to become the global leader in regenerative medicine. That doesn't happen through hype, it happens through disciplined science, real-world results, and an unshakable focus on patient outcomes. Our values of innovation, urgency, teamwork, and inclusion are not just statements on a wall. They guide every hire, every experiment, every investment. When you align around values, you don't just build a company, you build a movement. We're preparing to initiate a phase 1/2 clinical trial in diabetic foot ulcers. We expect to file an IND this year for each of multiple sclerosis and psoriasis. And we have a robust IP platform. We're not just participating in this space, we're shaping it. In biotech, IP is oxygen. It determines how long you can compete, how wide your moat is, and how defensible your breakthroughs are. Our platform doesn't just address one disease or one mechanism, it spans multiple therapeutic categories, which means multiple revenue streams and long-term optionality. In a world where ideas move fast and capital flows faster, this portfolio ensures we stay ahead. We have a strong leadership team with the recent addition of Jason Davis as our new CFO. Finally, the engine behind all this, our Fibroblast platform. It's a scalable platform with applications across some of the biggest unsolved problems in medicine. This is what execution with leverage looks like. Leadership defines trajectory. You need builders, not just operators. People who created value under pressure, navigated uncertainty, and brought products from ideation to market. As CEO, I have deep roots in medical innovation with over 350 patents to my name and a history of successful exits. Our CSO, Dr. Koja, brings an elite scientific pedigree, Stanford, USC, Boston University, and decades of experience in immunology and product development. And our new CFO, Jason Davis, brings capital market sophistication, M&A rigor, and a track record of increasing company market value. The intersection of science, strategy, and execution. That's what our leadership team embodies. Our board of directors has a broad biotech, biopharma, and operational leadership experience. They're all in this space, and they bring knowledge, counsel, and oversight to our growing company. Our scientific advisory board are world-class experts in cell therapy, and they provide insight for our fast-paced scientific efforts.
Hey, Pete, this is Craig, and I hate to interrupt you. We're not currently seeing your presentation. And if that's intentional, that's fine. But if you want to show
it. I did a share screen. Are you seeing that?
I am not. Yeah, I'm not. Let's try to solve that problem very quickly here.
My apologies.
No problem at all. We were following along nicely, and then I realized that I'd better stop because we are not seeing your presentation. And I can't see anything that we can do on this side. Okay, I'm seeing something happening here now. Yes, now go to presentation mode and you should be just fine.
Let's see.
That's it. That's it.
Well,
all right.
Okay. We will get here to our board of directors. Let me start over at our board of directors.
Good. Okay, here we go.
Can you see that?
I can, Pete. It looks like we have solved the problem. Yes.
Okay, great. Our board of directors has broad biotech, biopharma, and operational leadership experience. They're all active in this space, and they bring knowledge, counsel, and oversight to our growing company. Our scientific advisory board are world-class experts in cell therapy, and they provide insight for our fast-paced scientific efforts. Let's ground this in reality. Chronic disease is one of the most expensive, pervasive problems in global healthcare. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. No chemical compound has ever cured one. Zero. The therapeutic ceiling of conventional drugs is showing its limits. The next wave, the billion-dollar opportunity, lies in cell therapy, gene therapy, and immunotherapy. But within that wave, fibroblasts are uniquely positioned. While competitors are clustered around stem cells, we're exploring an undertapped but highly potential space with an extensive IP lead. The timing is right, the need is urgent, and the science is catching up. The potential of fibroblasts is staggering. There's only 2 cell types in the human body with regenerative capabilities, and fibroblasts are one of them. They play a central role in wound healing, immune modulation, and tissue repair. But unlike stem cells, which are technically complex, fibroblasts are accessible, stable, and scalable. It's a wide open field. Most companies haven't even begun to tap the potential of fibroblasts. That gives us a strategic advantage to establish leadership, set regulatory pathways, and define these therapies and how they're going to be deployed clinically. We're not playing catch up, we're paving the road. Let's talk about why we're making a deliberate bet on fibroblast-based cell therapy. At FibroBiologics, we're betting on biology, and fibroblast is the underdog with massive potential. This slide illustrates the fundamental difference between stem cells and fibroblasts. Traditional stem cell therapies have promise, but they come with complexity, spontaneous differentiation, sourcing, and challenges in manufacturing to scale. Fibroblasts, on the other hand, are abundant, robust, stable, and already play a pivotal role in tissue repair. They're scalable, consistent, and most importantly, they don't require reinvention of the wheel to work. This is a long-term play. We believe fibroblast therapy has the potential to redefine how chronic diseases are treated, with faster development times, lower costs, and more reliable outcomes. We're not just building another biotech solution, we're building the infrastructure for regenerative medicine with fibroblasts as the foundation. Chronic disease isn't just about malfunctioning organs, it's about a misfiring immune system. Traditional biologics attempt to suppress that system by force. That leads to side effects, diminishing returns, and infections. Our approach is more elegant. We use fibroblasts to reprogram the immune system, guiding it back to balance or homeostasis. That's not just symptom management, it's healing. Fewer side effects, greater durability, and a path towards remission, not just relief. This approach doesn't just treat the disease, it respects the body's natural intelligence. And that's what makes it revolutionary. This is a pipeline built for impact. Every candidate targets a high burden condition with massive unmet need. Diabetic foot ulcers, multiple sclerosis, degenerative disc disease, psoriasis. We're moving from discovery to execution. These aren't research ideas on whiteboards. These are assets on a track towards trial, and we expect commercialization. With each success, we don't just validate a product, we validate the entire platform. That's the power of horizontal expansion. The more we learn from each indication, the more leverage we gain across the platform. Let's look at the opportunity we have in diabetic foot ulcers, not just as a challenge, but as a massive area for impact. Every year, over 33 million people worldwide with diabetes develop a diabetic foot ulcer. That's just not a medical issue. It's a systemic failure in care, in prevention, and innovation. At FibroBiologics, we're focused on applying our fibroblast-based cell therapy to radically improve outcomes in one of the most burdensome complications of diabetes. Why? Well, because DFUs are chronic, debilitating, and extremely costly, not just financially, but in terms of human life and dignity. And yet the solutions haven't evolved meaningfully in decades. Recurrence rate and infection rates are both too high for this condition. And when this disease came from my grandfather, he suffered double amputations. This is more than a biotech play. It's an opportunity to lead in a space where innovation can directly reduce suffering for tens of millions. DFUs are silent epidemic. This isn't a current treatment that addresses the targeting of cell senescence in DFUs. That's when a cell permanently stops dividing, but remains metabolically active and can even release harmful substances. Current treatments are outdated and largely ineffective and don't address the high recurrence rate. Our CYWC628 candidate aims to change that. Our preclinical studies demonstrate that it reduces inflammation, accelerates healing, and enables a high-quality wound healing. This is a chance to drastically reduce morbidity, cut healthcare costs, and dramatically improve quality of life for millions. This is not incremental, this is transformational. Multiple sclerosis, it's devastating, progressive, and poorly controlled with existing therapies. As you can see, the healthy nerve has a nice, smooth myelin sheath. When multiple sclerosis affects the patient, their myelin sheath becomes damaged by an over-dysregulated immune system, and most of the treatments suppress that immune system broadly, which often brings more harm than it helps. Our data suggests that fibroblasts offer a more nuanced, targeted way to restore immune balance. CYMS-101, our phase 1/2 IND-ready asset, is designed to harness that precision. If successful, this could mark a turning point in how MS is treated, shifting from toxic immune suppression to regenerative modulation back to homeostasis. With a patient population of 123 million worldwide and 7 million in the US, psoriasis is more than skin deep. It's an autoimmune disorder that impacts millions, not just physically, but psychologically. It carries stigma, discomfort, and persistent inflammation. We believe our fibroblast-based therapy can address this. not as a cosmetic issue, but as an immune system dysfunction. That's a fundamental shift. Imagine a therapy that not only clears the skin, but helps reestablish immune homeostasis. That's the difference between temporary relief and lasting remission. Degenerative disc disease is a global epidemic with over 12.5 million impacted in the US and a resulting surgical volume of 1.2 million cases a year. Current solutions are limited to pain management or invasive surgery. CyberCell is designed to actually regenerate disc tissue. This isn't just better pain management, it's a biological repair of the disc. For the tens of millions suffering from daily, this could be life-changing. And for healthcare systems, it could drastically reduce long-term costs and interventions. We're not just playing the short game at FibroBiologics. We have early-stage programs aimed at human longevity and cancer, two of the most ambitious frontiers in medicine. CYTER 915 explores how fibroblasts might recover the lost functionality of the thymus, potentially extending human life by enhancing immune resilience to defeat diseases as we age and thus increase our life expectancy. TBC 190 takes aim at cancer, an area where fibroblast modulation may offer novel therapeutic pathways. These are high-risk bets. With a platform this promising, we have to explore them. Preparations for our phase 1/2 trial of CYWC628 in Australia are advancing rapidly. Timelines are clear, milestones are mapped, and we're on track to begin this clinical trial in the second half of 2025. That means real patient data, real feedback, and real potential validation of our approach before the end of the year. Momentum is real, and we're building it. Scale is everything. We've partnered with Charles River Laboratories, a leading global CDMO. The master cell bank and working cell bank have passed all required safety tests. We've also expanded into our new Houston lab facility, which allows us to scale R&D for future indications. This is infrastructure that not only supports our current trials, but enables our next wave of innovation. Here's a snapshot. We're a clinical stage biotech company with $8.7 million in cash at the end of March, a robust intellectual property portfolio, near-term catalysts in high-value disease areas. And this is a platform with runway scientifically and strategically. Our team is experienced, our mission is bold, and we're just getting started. Some recent updates. Hamid has just returned from Australia where he's completing the selection of our clinical sites, and he's already begun the contract signing process. We have released a press release this week about our ability to use our existing master cell bank for our current degenerative disc disease program. That cell bank includes spheroid technology instead of single cell. What does that do for us? Saves millions of dollars in development of an additional master cell bank and probably saves us a year of time. I wanted to remind everyone that what we're building here has never been built before. It's like inventing the car. Someone has to invent the tire. Someone has to invent the engine. We have to invent the trays that carry these spheroids. We have to invent the trays that grow them, that ship them, the boxes that ship them. Everything we do, we're creating something from scratch. Nobody has ever done this before. And so while sometimes our timelines may run over, that's because our timelines are fluid. Because when you're doing something that's never been done before, you do run into obstacles. You have to clear those obstacles and continue moving forward. And that's what we do every day. We are actively looking for international collaboration partners. We have a team out speaking with people now. We continue our awareness through our conference presentations, and we'll be at the Wound Care Conference in Boston next week. And we just received notice yesterday of a new multiple sclerosis patent that issued for us, in the process of issuing for us in Australia. Are there any questions, Craig?
Yes, and I'm going to explain how attendees can reach us with their questions. You can submit your question by clicking the Q&A button and typing in your question. The Q&A button is in the is at the bottom of your Zoom window in the middle. I will read your question aloud, and the FibroBiologics team will answer. And we can only take written questions today, so please do not use the raise hand button. And yes, we already have some questions here for you. Can you provide more detail on the design and endpoints of the upcoming phase 1/2 trial in diabetic foot ulcers using CYWC 628? Specifically, how will success be measured beyond wound closure rate?
Sure, we'd be happy to. I'll turn that over to Hamid Koja.
Yes, thank you very much. Our phase 1/2 clinical trial is an open-label clinical trial. We anticipate enrolling 120 patients in 3 cohorts, standard of care, low dose CYCW628 and high dose. It's a 12-week clinical trial with the primary outcomes being full wound closure in 12 weeks, percent area reduction in the wound during the 12 weeks, and of course, it's safety. So those are the 3 primary outcomes. As a secondary outcome, we're also looking at the we're also looking at the recurrence of the wound in the same area within 6 months. So those are the primary and secondary outcomes for the phase 1/2 clinical trial for diabetic foot ulcer.
With the promising remyelination results from the models, what does your regulatory path look like for entering phase 1 for MS?
That's a great question. Hamid, you want to take that?
Yeah. So in terms of the regulatory pathway, it's fairly similar. If you look at previous clinical trials that have been conducted for multiple sclerosis, it's typically 18 to 24-month follow-up. And that is most likely the path that we will have to take as well. Remyelination is a slow process, as we've seen in our preclinical studies. We have noticed remyelination beginning to occur in our animal model studies within 6 weeks. But we expect in humans it will be a little bit longer. So we will most likely follow the same path, probably about 12 to 18 weeks, 12 to 18 months follow-up for this clinical trial. And most likely it will be a larger phase 1 clinical trial looking at safety, but also looking at some efficacy endpoints as well.
What does the timeline look like for advancing the psoriasis program to IND submission and clinical trial initiation?
These are great
Great
questions.
question. Yeah. So our psoriasis program is at the preclinical IND enabling phase at the moment. I expect all our IND enabling preclinical studies to be completed by the end of this year, and we will begin the process of submitting for a phase 1/2 clinical trial IND. Most likely, we'll begin the process at the end of the year, but most likely it will not be submitted until first quarter of 2026.
You've highlighted the ability to manufacture CyBro-cell from the master cell bank. What does that mean in terms of cost efficiencies and speed compared to traditional means?
Yeah, by having a single master cell bank that could provide potential or drug product candidates for multiple clinical indications saves us quite a bit of time and money in developing it. Otherwise, we'll have to go and develop and manufacture a master cell bank and a working cell bank for every clinical indication, in this case, the degenerative disc disease, which requires not only time, but significant amount of money. By having a master cell bank that's already in place, all we have to do is manufacture a working cell bank in the drug product for the clinical trial. So it saves us not only time, but a significant amount of money as well.
Reminder to our participants that if you wish to submit a question to the team, use the Q&A button. It's in the middle of your screen at the bottom, then type in the text box. Gentlemen, is FibroBiologics planning to bring manufacturing in-house at the new Houston facility? If so, what are the expected benefits in terms of cost, quality control, and trial readiness?
Wow, you just hit my favorite topic, Hamid.
Yeah, I think overall, we believe that bringing the manufacturing in-house will significantly impact not only the timelines for manufacturing a drug product, but also more control over all aspects of the manufacturing process. Our goal is to ultimately do bring manufacturing in-house for both our preclinical studies and hopefully for the drug product itself later in the future. But it does bring a significant amount of control over the process and over the timeline of development and manufacturing for us. So we do intend on bringing it in-house at the near future.
Can you comment on the durability and storage stability of your fibroblast product?
Yes, we have indicated as in previous presentations, but just a note, we don't use single cell approach for any of our therapeutic candidates. We utilize a spheroid approach with not only, and our data has indicated not only is more viable and more potent, but it's longer lasting. So as compared to single cells, as you've probably noticed in a lot of clinical trials using single cells, these cells have to be thawed, cultured for a couple of days and then administered. With the spheroid product, it is very viable directly from thaw and administration. So it is a much better approach to cell-based drug product as compared to single cells.
Can you provide an update on your current cash runway following the third tranche of the $25 million SEPA agreement? Will you need to raise additional capital ahead of your DFU trial readouts?
I'll let Jason jump on and provide some answer for that.
Sure. What we can comment on is the March 31st, 2025 cash balance was roughly 8.9 million. And adding that in with the $5 million, that gives us a significant more cash runway than we had before. We do believe we'll have enough money to get us through the DFU study.
Thank you very much. You have more than 275 issued and pending patents. How many of these are composition of matter versus method of use? And what is protecting your lead assets?
That's a great question. To give you the actual breakdown, we'd have to get our patent counsel on here, but they're all utility patents. We don't have any design patents, as you would imagine in this space. To say composition of matter, I would have to get our IP counsel on here to break them down. But they cover all of our clinical programs, and new patents that we're generating right now are covering our new manufacturing techniques. So when the world wakes up to fibroblasts, they will wake up to a fully protected manufacturing program as well.
What do you mean by collaboration partners exactly?
We have a group that is out speaking with companies in our space. Again, when we talk about fibroblasts, it's probably the first time any of these companies have heard about this. And so they are doing really an international education of the market to tell companies that are in this space or interested in entering this space what we're doing, and see if there are some good fits out there to join us in a collaboration agreement, a co-development agreement, a license agreement. So in any number of those along the spectrum we would be interested in.
This person says, if you see this question fit for this webinar, when do you expect to be profitable?
It's a great question that involves commercial acceptance of our product. So I would say as soon as we get that, you will see that. When you are in the biotech space, I think someone told me Tesla went 10 years before they ever came out with a commercial product. Amazon went 20-something quarters. They were growing. So when you're developing something, you have to invent the product. then you have to get approval for the product, and then you have to sell the product. We're in the invention of the product phase. If you are a distributor, you're taking a product that's already been invented and you're merely distributing it out to the market. We are the actual inventors.
Are there any other fibroblast-based companies operating in your core therapeutic areas? In other words, are there any competitors?
We have not or do not know of any other company using fibroblasts therapeutically. We look, we are curious, we're obsessed with this space, and we have not found any.
Can you walk us through the total addressable market assumptions, and how do you envision positioning the product commercially if trials are successful?
Wow, that's an hour-long answer to that question. I would say that we're in a space where there are no current cures for the diseases that we're working on. These are multi-billion-dollar opportunities. We have platforms inside of platforms. So our wound care program will move into burn patients. It will also move into post-surgical wound treatment. And then it also has a retail component. That's just one platform. Our human longevity program is another platform. So these are massive opportunities that we're developing.
We have time for one final question. Are you in active discussions with potential partners, either in pharma or biotech, for any of your pipeline programs or platform licensing?
If we were, we couldn't say. So that's we will mark NA on that one.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. For more information on FibroBiologics, reach us at 1-800-REDCHIP or email us at FBLG@redchip.com. Please visit the information page created by RedChip for FibroBiologics. It's FBLGinfo.com. There you can view and download the investor presentation and fact sheet and sign up for news alerts on FibroBiologics. RedChip is excited to announce the launch of RedChat, our advanced AI assistant designed to empower investors with instant, in-depth insights on more than 5,000 small cap and microcap stocks. Try it now at red.chat. Watch Small Stocks, Big Money, RedChip's program featuring exciting small cap companies every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on Bloomberg USA. Finally, join RedChip's next webinar with Connect Biopharma Holdings Tuesday, July 15th at 4:15 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Register for all RedChip webinars at redchip.com/events. Thanks again to our many participants today, and thank you very much, Pete and Hamid.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.